you're very welcome back to another episode of the Country Chats podcast, and they're already waving at me. And when I think of these two lads, the first thing that comes to mind is fun. I have Chrissy McGrath, also better known as Chrissy Mac, and Terence Lafferty here in front of me, up there in County Donegal. Lads, how are you?
They're brilliant, Sandra, absolutely amazing.
Good. So yeah, look, on Facebook, I've never met you, but I see you on Facebook all the time, and you're just fun. Everything about you just screams fun. There's so much going on with you. So you're keeping well?
Yeah, we're on cloud nine. We're busy enough, and we're keeping ourselves occupied and keeping ourselves sane. So we are.
Good. And for those of you that might be watching this video on YouTube or Facebook, just to confirm, Chrissy Mac is the one on the left, but it might be your right. So Chrissy, give us a wave there, yeah. And then Terence is the one that didn't wave. I know, Terence is the one in the red. So it depends what way you're watching it. They might be on your right or left. But anyway, lads, it's brilliant to have ye and to meet ye on Zoom. And I hear you're just back from a big long walk. Fair play to you.
Yeah, we were up on the, what do you call it?
Stairway to Heaven.
Stairway to Heaven in Fermanagh, and my legs are absolutely wrecked. I'm knackered. I'm not fit. I used to be fit, but I'm not fit now. Too busy sitting in front of the fire eating chocolate during lockdown. That's what's got to me.
I'm laughing here because for those of you that are listening on the podcast, yeah, you'll see it on the video. But no, fair play to you lads, getting out and about. But it's probably lovely to have the time. As you said, you are busy, but it's probably lovely to have the time going on these walks and enjoying it while things are still kind of quiet.
Oh, it's great because we're both in full-time employment as well. With Chrissy getting his new job and me working, we never get a day off together. So today, since lockdown, it's the first time we actually spent the day together.
Well, even before lockdown, we were gigging. We were always working together, or we were in the house arguing with each other and grabbing each other by the throat.
So this was a nice relaxed outing today. There was no at each other, so it was all heavenly at the Stairway to Heaven. And come here, when did you get engaged? Was it last year or the year before?
2 years ago.
Okay. Oh yeah, was that a test there now to see who would get it right and who would get it wrong? And tell us who proposed to who, or how did it all happen?
Well,
this must be good. This must be good.
I proposed to Terence, and I had a plan. We were actually meant to go on tour. We were on tour with Philomena Begley at the time, host of other artists. It was actually meant to happen at Christmas time, so I thought I'll hold off to Christmas. But Terence is very particular when it comes to housework. So I had the ring in my pocket. Or no, I actually had it upstairs in the bedroom.
But we were rushing.
We were rushing, and typical Chrissy Mac. I didn't have the floors brushed. And Terence came in, why are these floors not brushed? Get these done, blah, 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 blah. And I couldn't complain. So I jumped down on the one knee and said, would you marry me? And he kind of hesitated. He didn't hesitate, he just waited and gave me a very long pause. And he says, I seen a tear coming to your eye, Chrissy, so I had to say yes.
Lovely. Oh, that is very romantic. It's like Cinderella or something.
It was, and then we had to be in panto rehearsals like 20 minutes later, so it was just up and run.
And did you tell everyone then, or did you keep it a day or two for yourselves?
You have to stick to tradition. So I actually asked his mum as well, and this is his family. So they knew I was away to get the ring anyway, so I got the all clear from the Lafferty family. So
oh, that's so lovely. Oh, I love these kind of stories. This is great, and this is the first time I've got to talk on the podcast about a little bit of romance. So I'm buzzing. I'm delighted. So yeah, well, that's so lovely. So that's 2 years ago. And any plans, or have you kind of put things on hold with COVID?
It was planned. It was meant to be done.
Okay.
But because of COVID, we had to cancel it, so it's put back now for 2 years
to 2023.
Lovely, same as myself actually, 2023. But what's your date?
We changed it. It's actually now the 12th of May.
Okay, mine's November, so.
Oh, very well that year as well.
Good, very good. Okay, so it's lovely. I'm buzzing getting a nice little love story. So I suppose back to the actual title of the podcast, which is Country Chats Podcast, and we better talk a little bit about music, or there'll be people going, is this all about love? It would be if I could have it my way. Maybe I should start a wedding podcast. But I suppose going to the music, I suppose you're both involved in the country music scene, but in different areas. So I suppose, Chrissy, we'll go to yourself first. You're the singer and the performer, and you've actually been really busy. which is great, over the last few weeks during lockdown and COVID and all that kind of thing. So tell us a little bit, I know you, tell us a little bit about when you started and how you got started and that kind of thing.
Well, it's actually a really funny again for some strange reason. I kind of always was into like the rock and roll stuff and listening to country music, and you probably heard before in your podcast, growing up listening to Philomena Bagley, Dominic Kerwin, Daniel O'Donnell, the whole lot. Like my granny's originally from Donegal, so we were growing up in the house and listening to granny's music and CDs and stuff like that. And I was just kind of, singing the backing tracks in the house, never nothing serious. And I was actually on the Jerry Kelly show when I was 7, impersonating this little small northern guy with a big comb over and sideburns and a big white jumpsuit. So that was it, and nothing really came out of that since. So I started just doing other jobs and part-time jobs, and then I went to a Highland Radio concert one night, just for the crack, with my family and stuff. And I met Terence that night, and that's where we first met. And we went out and that kind of thing, and up and I says, listen, by the way, I'm going to Bulgaria for 6 months. And he goes, are you kidding me? I goes, yeah, but that's a story for another day. But when I was in Bulgaria, I was singing away. The living conditions weren't great over there, as you know. And so I seen this little Donegal short arse walking down the streets of Bulgaria one night, and there was Terence, and he says to me, he says, right, mister, you're coming home to Donegal, and I'm going to put a name behind Chrissy.
And that's it.
Oh my God.
I was like, okay. I goes, we'll see how far this gets. Like, I'm being promised the sun, moon, and stars. And next thing you know, I was down in Donegal for 3.5 months. 4 months later, I was touring with Philomena Bailey and Dominic Kerwin.
That is, like, I thought the engagement story was good, but like, oh my God, you can't make that up. Like, that's just nuts. But, and were you in Bulgaria, Terence, for a holiday, or did you go over to see, could you find them, or how?
No, it was nothing. He texted me and he says, I'm over here for 6 months, blah, blah. I says, well, I must go over for a holiday sometime. And then I knew, Chrissy was like, like reps, you're sharing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was terrible accommodation. I thought, nah, this can't happen. And I did, before I went to Bulgaria, I was comparing a gig, a country festival, and I actually got him a spot last minute. And I thought, there's something here with this boy. So 3 weeks later, flew over, brought him back, and put him on the...
Wow, that is such a good story. I love it. Oh my God. I don't even know what to say. Like, I'm kind of speechless because that is just brilliant. So that's how it all kicked off, basically, Terence. You kind of gave Chrissy the kick to kind of, come on, let's do this in both ways, in a relationship kind of sense and in, I suppose, the music scene. So then you started going on tour with Philomena, and then it just went from there, was it?
Well, there's a guy from Donegal town, his name's Brian, coming in, and Terry's only friendly enough because he would be presenting on Southeast Radio, all that kind of thing. So they kind of had that connection of the radio friends, and he does a Christmas tour every year. So he says, well, listen, sure, we'll give him a spot, and he's been booking me ever since.
4 years.
4 years on the continuous 4 years, and he's done a lot for me as well. He's helped me out, and listen, but as people say, how did you get involved in music? And I'm like, this guy here.
That is mad, because I knew, Terence, that you would have, I mean, do you call yourself manager, or what's the label there?
Yeah. Because if he says me part of the road, he'll not listen to you. So once I go out the door, the engagement ring it doesn't stay here physically.
Yeah.
But the manager's hat's on out the door, and I know better.
Yeah. Oh my God, that is brilliant. Because yes, I from Facebook, I obviously knew you were together, but before that, or I kind of would have said, well, you were as manager. So that's brilliant. Oh my God, I love them stories. So then, look, same as every other artist, COVID came, you had loads of bookings in the diary, you lost all of them, and you've been working away. You brought out a new single only a few weeks ago, down south in New Orleans. I was listening to it in the car on the way over, and it was really fun, and it was really summery actually. It has a nice little summer twang to it. So you brought that out, and the video, and you've also been doing the country at home events. Both of you have been doing that, haven't you?
Yeah. So I was just sitting eating dinner last night. I'm like, Terence, I think we have had the opposite of what we were expecting out of COVID. Like, COVID has hit. We're losing all bookings. We're not going to get back to the dance until better times come around. And then the next thing you know, we get a phone call and, all right, we want Chrissy to do these country at homes. And Terence was like, oh yeah, no bother, we'll get him there. No, but I want Chrissy and the band. I'm like, my band hasn't been out since Christmas 2 years ago. I'm like, I'm not even sure the guys are still alive. we rounded up the troops, so we rounded up Aidan Quinn and Eugene McMullen and Luke Curry and Jimmy Hendry. And listen, we couldn't do it without Jimmy. Jimmy is absolutely amazing. And yeah, now the bookings, we're taking actually dates out of the diary that we had in for the One Piece and replacing them with band dates, which we can't get over. So we've been quite busy on that aspect of things, should I say. But me and Terence also had a new thing, and we head into the hospitality in lockdown, and we are managing a bistro and coffee house in Lifford as well. So
is this the one that I saw Terence showing off his skills?
No.
Okay, we'll get to that. So we'll get to that in a second. Or do you know what? Just tell us now, Terence. There's an excellent video of you on Facebook. Oh, Maple Kitchen, isn't that it? Maple Kitchen, and you are showcasing some fabulous baking skills.
No, Maple is a shop that I work for, and I left to go to the bistro, but they asked me to come back and do, like we Facebook videos for them. But I have to let you in on a secret, and nobody actually knows this yet, but I don't cook and I don't bake. Them videos, because I'm from the radio and people in Donegal know me, I stand in front of the camera and I look like I'm doing it, but when the camera stops, Chrissy actually cooks everything and I step back in. So I don't even cook.
Oh, stop. So it's you that needed the video lessons. Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to be killed.
Oh my God, that is so funny. Because before the interview, I had a quick look just when I was researching for it. So I didn't actually watch it. I just clicked into it and forwarded a bit. So I'm totally going in now to see the edit, the very smart editing. That is so funny. Oh my God, that's brilliant. Oh, geez, lads, we're only 15 minutes in and I'm getting so much goss out of you. This is brilliant.
That's us.
Open books.
Open books.
Open books, that's what we want. So that was Maple Kitchen. So, and you were on about somewhere in Lifford that you're managing. Tell me about that as well.
Yeah. So as you know, during COVID, the bookings were going. So we were still planning on getting married because we didn't know, and we didn't want to eat into the wedding fund. To obviously, we've got a brand new house here and stuff like that. So obviously, bills need paid, and I applied for a post as a barista in a local coffee house, and thankfully I knew the guys who were running the place, but I didn't know them obviously because it was kind of secret. And we had a meeting and all this of the business. So that was okay, face the business, right, in front of the house or something like that. Went in, didn't know what I was doing. Chrissy, no, you're running this place. I'm like, I'm what? So I was like, I need help here. So yet again, Bucko leaves his own job to come and work with me. So we're both managing a bistro and coffee house in Lifford called the Roasted Bean, but it's currently closed due to the pandemic.
Very good.
I'm doing another job in a minute.
Yes, I saw that on Facebook. Congratulations, that's great. And probably something that you wouldn't have had chance to do or try only for COVID. And I can imagine they love you because you're chatting away and you're buzzing and you're probably singing for them as well. So I'd say you really enjoy it, do you?
I do, but Terence doesn't because I'm sitting there chatting and singing to the customers and he's shouting, "There's a coffee for table 4! Hurry up!"
He's the boss.
Oh, he's the boss.
Yeah. And then the care assistant, you've been that's just since Christmas, is it?
No, 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Oh!
2 weeks.
Yeah.
So my mum's a support worker with learning disability and mental health, and I've always grown up in the house, and she said, she loves the job and loves the job. Well, obviously there's a couple of negatives that come with the job, but I went in and I was like, oh no, I don't know if I can do this. There's a few gross things, or maybe do this. But I said, listen, we'll give it a shot. I've been in there 2 weeks and I love it. I love it. I says to Terence, I says, I don't know. I says, if COVID stays away, I'm happy to be a care assistant. Like, because Sean Cuddy was actually in the same care home as me.
Okay.
So I'm going in now and they're all comparing me to Sean Cuddy. I'm like, oh, thanks.
Yeah. So you singing to them all?
Singing to them all. I don't know. I might be making them more sick when I sing it, but I'm not too sure.
I know. I'd say they love it, and it's probably nice to have a new face coming into them and all that kind of thing as well. So fair play to you. No, I saw the picture on Facebook. All right, so that's absolutely brilliant. So between the barista work and the care assistant, and then your country at home gigs, you have been busy. So, which is great, which is absolutely great. And then Terence, you've been kind of obviously doing the coffee house as well with them, and you had your Maple Kitchen appearance, and but you're also a presenter, compere, radio DJ, all that kind of thing. So I know you're on Highland Radio. How did you get that gig, or what's I suppose your background getting involved in the country music scene?
I am in Highland 6 years coming now this year. And would you believe it? I never even tried for it. I always loved country music. Growing up, I always loved country music. My family ran country events and I always loved that. And then I was actually working on the cinema, and we had Highland Radio on an outside broadcast. Just, fun day. And the late P.O. McCann was actually there, and he interviewed me about movies for sound check, and that was it. I'm there since.
That's a very easy way of getting in. Fair play to you. You must have made a serious impression though, like to get kind of it that quick. That's brilliant.
They loved it, and I loved it doing country music, because like I've worked kind of in the country scene with different artists since I was 18, 14 years now. It's long. But I loved it, chatting about country, and then it helps, like, yourself when you know the artist personally. You can put it out in the airways. You don't sound like you're reading a script. Since lockdown, our radio station closes at night. So I've been took off the country slot, and I'm actually doing pop music during lockdown. Is
that hard? Because for me, if I had to go from doing a country chats podcast, a country podcast, or even when I used to present, for me to go and do pop, I would actually be lost. Like, I'd wing it. I'd be able to wing it and talk, but I'd have to do a lot of research, to be honest. How do you find it?
To be honest, I don't do no research. No, nothing. It's kind of like a drive time show. I just turn on the mic.
Chrissy.
Not sacked yet.
Chrissy is like, no, we rehearsed this, Terence. You're supposed to say that you do research.
That's all. I just turn the mic on and chat to the listeners like I'm sitting in front chatting to them. But I think people like.
Yeah, no, that's fair play to you. I would find that a challenge. I would feel like I have to research, and my fella would, if I put my fella in front of it and said, off you go talk about pop, not a bother on him, but it wouldn't be my scene. But fair play to you. But look, I suppose you're still on the radio, you're still there, which is great. You could have been, put aside for a while until things pick up again, but you're still there, so that shows a lot for you. So that's great. So you're there on Highland.
Still there, I'm working on the country scene. Like, I'm along with Chrissy and the boys up doing the country, and we have a big massive drive coming, so I'm still there yet.
Yes, I saw. Well, you present on the country at home event sometimes as well, don't you? And then, yes, I saw the drive-in. So you're involved in the organisation of that, are you?
Yeah, I'm the one in the background. You might see Andy on camera, but it's like me in the background doing the run orders, the cameras, stuff like that. I'm more of a background sort of person.
Very good. Oh, that's brilliant. Like, so then there again, you still have a lot going on. It's great to see you getting on with things. And look, I'm sure there's been down days and days, probably last year, where you were hemming and hawing, oh, what are we going to do? And this is rubbish. But you've really worked hard to kind of find solutions and to find new ideas to get things back up and running, which is absolutely brilliant. Like myself, I'm kind of thinking of new ideas all the time, but that's great, because on Facebook, you're like, I don't know you, I've never met you, but from Facebook alone, I think you kind of get someone's personality and you get to know people. So, Jesus, if you only done that alone, people will get to know you, like. But no, you've been working really hard, lads. Fair play to you. It's really great to see.
Oh, you have to take the challenges. Like, people do constantly say, why are you doing this? Why are you running here every day of the week? You're not making no money, but you have to look for the future. You have to do things in the future, definitely.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, and I get the same. You get the few comments, what are you at, or why bother, or this kind of thing. But yeah, you have to just keep going, and the events that you're running as well, the drive-ins, that's a jump then to the next step, and then to the concerts, and then to the dance. That's the step in opening up the country music scene again. Like so,
we do have to hand the big majority to Andy Crawford there. Like if we didn't get the phone call from Andy, still the dates would be still sitting in the dairy, and people wouldn't know during lockdown who Chrissy Mac and the band is, and we have to hand that to Andy Rocky Top Productions. It's him running the events, and with help of Terence and Trevor, and I just want to get that out there that if it wasn't for Andy, Chrissy Mac and the band would be non-existent at the minute. So a credit to him as well.
Yeah, because he does amazing stuff. He's up in the elite country radio, and the stuff he does for country is amazing.
Like he never met me before, but he said he did, and
paid off.
No, that's great, and it seems like you come across very grateful, and you're not just saying, oh yeah, we did all these things and it's great. You're giving thanks to people that have helped you along the way, and I feel that's very important in a scene like this. You have to, everyone should be thanking everyone and be kind and all that sort of thing, but you do seem very grateful to opportunities that you've had and got.
Yeah, definitely. You always have to remember everyone, because if you remember each and every person, you help them, they help us.
That's it. That's a good way of looking at it. Fair play to you. So I told you about this quick fire round that we were going to. You look a bit nervous.
A wee bit.
Well, because you're different in your if your answers wrote down for the questions that you don't know, I'm going to ask. I love it. I love the preparation there. This should be good. Have you really? A blank? Okay, right. I was thinking this will be good if they've answers wrote down and they don't know what I'm going to ask. And I'm going to kind of be asked. Some of them will be the same, and some of them will be different for both of you, because you obviously have different roles in the country music scene. But I'll say your names for answering, and that might make it easier. But the first one, so quick fire round with Chrissy Mac and Terence Lafferty. They're ready and they're under pressure and they look very nervous, but we'll get through it. Okay, lads. So first question is for both of you. Who is your favourite American country music singer? Chrissy.
Merle Haggard.
Terence.
Luke Bryan.
Okay. Favourite country song to listen to?
Me?
Yeah, you go first. Go on.
The Lonesome Fugitive by Merle Haggard.
I'm a sucker. It's still Shania Twain's the one.
Yeah, I like that one. Good choice. Okay. For both of you, can you dance?
No.
Hey, I a little bit. So I might need lessons from yourself.
Yeah, can you dance, Terence? Okay, so just saying, wedding coming up, first dance lessons, etc., etc., etc. Just saying, we can talk about that again. Moving on. For both of you, who is your favourite Irish country music singer?
At the minute, I am obviously Chrissy, but I am in love with Chantal Patton. Love Chantal.
Mine will and always will be the Queen, Philomena Bagley.
Oh, I like it. Very good. Okay. Chrissy Mac, this one's just for you. Do you prefer to perform at a concert or a dance?
Ooh, a dance.
Why?
Because don't get me wrong, but when you're sitting in a concert at a dance, they're enjoying the music. You can see the excitement on their face. You can see that they're really enjoying themselves.
Very good. Okay, for both of you, do you play an instrument?
No.
A little bit.
A little bit of what?
A little bit of the tin whistle and a little bit of the accordion.
Oh, very good. Oh, so we have a trad background going on as well there.
He's learning.
I'm learning.
So, Terence, your poor ears so must be in a bad way if he's going around the house playing the tin whistle. Okay, Chrissy, favourite song to sing? Oh, jeez. I only noticed it there. For those of you that are listening back, I just started asking the next question, and Chrissy took out to whistle, if you don't mind. Jeez, he's very eager. Very eager. This is, I tell you, we love it. This is one of the best podcasts with the best crack I've had yet. Go on, do you want to play a solo there?
No, you're okay.
Okay, fine. Maybe after. Maybe when we stop recording. So what was I saying? Oh yes, Chrissy, favourite song to sing?
Oh, God, I know this is a quick fire round, but Joe Dolan, anything by Joe Dolan or Seven Spanish Angels.
I love how Terence answered for you.
Showband
stuff.
I like that. Okay, this is on the list, but I know the answer. What is your favourite local radio station?
Highland Radio. Obviously Highland Radio.
Yes, I knew the answer to that before I asked. What is your favourite venue to work in or gig in? Both of you can answer this.
Melon Country Inn.
The Melon's been one of their favourites because you're up close, you're personal.
Mm-hmm.
Love the Melon.
Yeah.
Good. And last one, tell us something we don't know about you, individually or as a couple, or tell us something that the other one. Tell us something about the other one.
Well, you don't mind that I let the secret out. I can't cook. That's all fake. Chrissy, some people don't know about Chrissy. Chrissy's.
I'm not from Donegal.
No, but Chrissy's a very talented cook. I'd say Chrissy could be like a chef if the singing didn't take out. Chrissy's really creative. People like if you make a bacon, egg, sausage, and chip, Chrissy'd have to do it fancy style with the green and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, you're like my fella, so it can't. It has to be. There has to be additional stuff added. Yes.
So if you're going to take time to cook and make, do it right.
Whereas I just turn on the chip pan, put it in, put it out. That's it.
Yeah, you're a bit like me as well. Okay, that's interesting. And Chrissy, where are you really from?
I am from a little town called Lurgan in County Armagh.
Oh, very good. Okay. And then Terence, you're from Donegal.
Yeah, I'm from Castlefin originally.
Very good. Very good. Okay, you have survived the quickfire round. Just about, I may say. There was a bit of sweat there for a minute or two.
There was?
Everyone always gets thrown on the, what's your favourite song? What's your favourite singer? Because nobody can ever and then you panic because I think if I was asked, my first thought is, oh sugar, I don't want to offend anyone. That's my first thought. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's always, so you think, quick, who won't be listening to the podcast?
Next month.
Yeah, no, that was very good. That was good. I don't think there's anything I need to go back on there. Sometimes I like to develop it further, but no, that was good. The quick fire round, you did survive. So, do you know what? I've only been talking to you, how long are we on now? We're on a little over half an hour, and oh my God, you're like the best crack ever. I feel like I know you.
But you know what? I was just thinking to myself, I think that we've met before, but we haven't.
Do you know what? That's what I found across the board on the podcast. Now, some people, I suppose, at the start of the podcast, 16 episodes ago, I was asking people I knew because, I was only starting out or whatever. But since adding people on, I'm actually probably meeting more people on this than I would if things were normal. Because, say if I went to see you at a dance, Chrissy, I probably wouldn't get talking to you. I might say hello or well done or great night or get a photo. But we wouldn't actually, you wouldn't connect do you know?
But the thing about Chrissy's concert, which is great for anybody who comes to watch them, but it's a nightmare for me trying to get home. Chrissy will sit for hours. There's nights I'm like, come on, the van started, get out the door. Chrissy will sit and they'll chat and chat and chat to everybody, which is great for us.
And that's why everyone loves them.
Remember you said about tell me something that you don't know, I do that so I don't have to pack up the gear.
Yeah.
And I have been in Terence's shoes. I've done gigs before where there was a gang of us, and the quicker we got the gear packed up, the quicker we could go home. Not home, we were on tour. The quicker we could go back. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to get this gear tidied up. So you'd have all the lads off at the bar talking to people, and you'd have me and my sister who, girls, picking up all this big gear or whatever, so Terence, I feel you, it's okay. But at the same time then, I would be the one also doing the talking, so there's a bit of both of you in me. But that is probably why people love you on Facebook. As I said, I follow you both, friends with you both on Facebook, all that jazz. But whenever you go live, or even just going down through your comments, there's great support for you and great graphy. That's brilliant, to have that fan base. Oh, one of the questions I forgot to ask was, who's your biggest fan, other than each other?
I have to say that Bernie Freed, she's a woman that comes to my gigs all the time, and she, rain, hail or snow, she's there. when Terence not available, she would drive me to the gigs and stuff like that. And Bernie, I said Bernie Free's my biggest fan. Your biggest fan, Terence?
Well,
his mommy.
My parents first, obviously, yes, my parents. And then there's one wee lady, she'll be watching us 100%, is Audrey Needles as well. She never misses. She'll text me an hour before I get the show. She'll text me afterwards. Did you get home okay? She's just, you're one of them really lovely wee people.
Oh, I love that. And everyone who has been, since I started doing the quickfire round on the podcast, everyone has, like, everyone goes to say their mummy or their daddy, and then everyone's like, Mary such one or Johnny such one. Everyone has that one person that just like springs to mind that's always commenting or sharing or liking, which is great. Like, it's lovely.
Well, like I always say to Terence, and I'm a sucker for it, and there's sometimes on a professional level you have to keep your friends and your fans your fans. But I'm not like that. All my fans are my friends, and I would send them an email or send them a video message, and I like to get personal with the fans, because at the end of the day, we wouldn't be on stage without them, and we thank them for that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of the country music scene. And I know what comes to mind for me is, you might have experienced as well, you will always hear about that one night that such a singer did not come out after, or did come out but barely spoke and hit off, and he was just thick, or I'm saying he or she, but you always hear of that one night where that artist was not sociable. So like, and I'm sure you've heard it as well. So it's, yeah.
But them nights happen, like, and I've said, oh, Terence, I really don't want to go out here. I'm so tired.
So you send Terence out instead?
No. Terence, get that bloody tie on you and get out there. And once I'm out, I'm grand. But just, when you're traveling the likes from here from Donegal to Cork, and you want to get home, you're knackered. But
because we both work in the mornings as well. Like, there's nights we could be gigging home at 3, 4.
Yeah.
But we both get up at 5:30, 7 and go to our full-time job as well.
Yeah.
But you have to do it.
You have to do it. And listen, I love every minute of it. I love to meet new faces that come up, or if they're buying a CD. And listen, and this is your first time to dance, listen, take that home with you. Come back the next time, let me know what you think. And they appreciate it.
Yeah, and it's things like that people remember as well. Like, oh, he was so nice. He gave me a CD and he was just chatting away. People remember that, like.
Yeah.
Like, I still remember when I first started going to the dances. This is 15, 16 years ago, back when I was 11. And I used to go to Patrick Feeney when he was first starting out. And I still remember when he would have brought me and said, here, take this CD. And I'd be like, oh, I need to get money off Nanny. And he'd be like, no, take it with you. Like, I still remember that. So, such a simple thing, but it can mean the world to someone, and they'll still remember it years later.
It's simple but effective, and chatting, like, people would always say, Chrissy, do you ever give over? Jesus, you chat away like golf. On tour with Dominic Kerwin, that's a man that can chat. I'm telling you, he has queues of people, and I'm like, Dominic, I thought I chatted, but that's how Dominic gets them. And Dominic is a great chatter. He's a great guy with a conversation, having a conversation with, and he's just a real professional, isn't he?
That's Irish country. That's where everyone loves.
He's just a real professional.
And that's what people miss as well. God, I know it's the music and the dancing, but it's the socialising and seeing the artists and that interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, just can't wait your first big dance back out. We can't wait. Hopefully it goes ahead.
Yeah.
He's getting lucky. He's playing on the Rainbow in Glenfarne.
Ooh.
Can't wait for that one. That's an honour to get
so
there.
That's in September.
Fingers crossed.
September.
That could be doable.
Me and the band. So
that's not. It's far enough away that there is a bit of hope. Yeah, you probably have a good few events lined up and things, but it's just to see what happens.
Well, we're looking forward to getting down that side of the country as well. Like Donegal has been great to me, and I'm up in the northwest, and Tyrone and Wexford and places like that. But to get down to that part of the country, it's a new area for me, and it's a new area for Terence anyway to do his research. So.
Well, you've a new contact now. I'm down here in the west anyway, so if you need anything, and I'd run a few events as well, so you never know. We'll have to have business chats after the podcast. We don't want to be airing our business on the podcast.
Why he's bringing us three together? That's the question.
But like, you wouldn't. I get so excited when you come on and you can just chat with someone freely on like we are, and it's happened so many times on the podcast with people that I don't know, and you come out and you're like, I feel like I know them. Like I know I'm buzzing now. I know I'll come away from this podcast and I'll be absolutely buzzing. And I go downstairs because I'm at my home house today, and Mum will go, "How did that go?" I'm like, "That was class. Like that was." I feel like I want to go get a glass of wine and just sit and have the chats Friday night out with the lads.
Well, Friday night's my night, and we were walking up the mountain today, and I was moaning. I was like, I'm not being sexist, I was like a woman walking up that mountain. Oh, my back's sore, my legs are sore. Terence goes, "No," he goes, if you do this walk, he goes, "I'll get you a case of Guinness tonight." So there's a case of Guinness in the fridge for me tonight.
Oh, you should have drank it before you came on the podcast. Imagine the crack we would have had then.
The tin whistle would be surely out to that stage.
And it would have been broke all right over his head.
Oh, please, can we do this is like the PG podcast. We should do like an over 18s one with the Guinness and you playing the whistle. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Lord.
Mad.
Are you going to share the Guinness, or is it all for you?
See, I'm smart, you see.
Oh, no, you've it all planned out, don't you?
There's a few WKD blues in the fridge. I think Terence might indulge them all out tonight. So.
Go wild with your WKD.
Maybe. We're sitting watching American Idol at the minute. Luke Bryan's on it, so a few drinks, watch American Idol, great night.
That'll do it. So, geez, I better let you go. So, or you won't be able to get through all that drink, all that Guinness and WKD. For any kids that are listening, these are very sensible lads. They don't condone drinking at all. And go and practice your tin whistles.
I'm a pro for it.
Yes, lads, it's been so much fun chatting to you and getting to meet you, and it's been so much fun, and God, you definitely let us in on a few secrets. All right, I'm going to be going back looking at some videos now after this to see can I spot some clever editing.
God, it's been amazing, Sandra. Thank you so much, because we've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And quick question: Do you often get to do interviews together, or is it usually one or the other, or are you used to kind of coming together for interviews?
This is our first together.
Yay! I love that. That's so much fun. Oh, that's great. Oh, I'm delighted I was the first to ask you, because obviously we were initially talking about Chrissy, and then I was like, you both work in the scene. I was like, I can't leave one out. I was like, I need both of you, and I'm glad I did that.
Yeah, usually I do the interviews. I don't do that. You work me for some reason. Your charm worked me around on the phone call. I wouldn't usually be on interviews.
Yeah, you didn't really argue with me. You were like, okay, fine. It didn't take much convincing, so I'm delighted with that.
Yeah, it was a good fun. And what you do, like, not just for Chrissy tonight, but other podcasts that have been watching them, been catching up. It's amazing what you're doing as well.
Thank you. Well, it was to keep me sane and to keep ye sane, because I missed being active on shows and radio and teaching dance, and so it was something to keep me busy, but also to give artists like yourselves and people working the country music scene another platform to work with, because really the only thing was Facebook Lives and singles and albums, so it was another platform. And look, Terence, you're used to doing interviews yourself. We're so used to the generic interviews of, so tell us about your new song and tell us about your album, and that's great, and where can we catch you Friday night? Well, I'm in here on the Friday and I'm here on the Saturday. We're so used to them snappy conversations, but they're always the same. And look, I do them. I ask the questions, I know that, but this interview, people learn so much more about the artists and the people, and it's more personal.
And I think that's what people want more, because even at Country at Home, the shows we're doing at the minute, we have another studio with green screen interviews, and we don't let Chrissy or Andy ask the normal questions. It tells embarrassing stories, put wigs on them, act to each it. People want to see that. They want to see the singers having a fun side.
I'll never forget. I will never ever forget it. I says to Ian Clergan, "Go on, tell me the most embarrassing story." I cringed for him. He was doing a wedding one day and I forgot the bride's name.
Purring.
And it went out to a couple of hundred people live on Facebook. And he was like, "I can kill you right now."
Oh, that is tough. And sometimes if I'm doing interviews where I don't know the person well, or here on the podcast, I've like everything wrote down in like, that's why I asked you your name at the start. I was like, is it just Chrissy Mac or is there an additional surname going on there? I was like, there has to be something hidden here that I don't know. Chrissy McGrath. So there, for anyone that did not know Chrissy Mac's real name, it's Chrissy McGrath. Is it Christopher? Who is Christopher McGrath? Oh my God, imagine I said, I'm going to see Christopher McGrath play there in the Mellon at the weekend.
No, well, this was quite funny because the shop that Terence lives in, what was it, Kane?
Oh, it was save the date for the wedding.
Well, save the date for the wedding. We were handing them out, and his manager looked at it and was like, "Terence, who's Christopher McGrath?" That's his real name. Wise up, really.
That is so funny. Yeah, like I never would have. No, well, like I kind of assumed Chrissy Mac wasn't the full name, but no, Chrissy Mac does have a better stage name ring to it. So, but I'm automatically calling you Chrissy Mac. It's like Chris Mac. Yeah. It rolls off the tongue.
He only gets Christopher when he's in the bad books.
Oh, I should have started calling you. If this was a serious podcast, I could have just started calling you Christopher.
So, yeah.
He'd be in the bad books tonight if he drinks all that Guinness.
Now, come on, now you promised me the full case because I walked up the mountain. Now, come on.
You know what? I do the exact same thing with my fella because I'd be the one moaning and groaning because he's a footballer, so he's like 100% athletic. But yeah, I'd be the same. But like, okay, I'll do it if you buy me. Like last week, he forgot to get me Easter eggs. So when he went to get them, they were sold out everywhere. I was like, it's fine. I was like, just go and buy me a few bottles of wine, hide them around the house, and I can have a wine hunt.
That's a good idea. No.
You could hide all his cans of Guinness, Terence, tonight, and he used to go and find them.
No. Terence is that good at hide and seek. One day we were playing a hide and go seek, and Terence was actually in the hot press above the hot tank.
Oh, in the house.
In the house, and we're big kids. We love playing.
I was about to go. Well, judging by Matt's earlier on in the podcast, he should be early 30s, and I was like, okay, I can go with this.
Okay. We have a question for you.
Oh, what age do I think you are? Okay, well, I know going by Terence's, he said something about age or something, so I'm going to say Terence. Oh, sugar, 28. Terence is 32.
Right.
I love the hat. Really helps me out. Oh, God, for anyone that's listening on Spotify, they're going to be like, quick, I need to see photos of these lads. Sugar, so who's older? Okay, I would say, I'd say Terence is older.
Why is you?
Am I right? You cut out of me there. Am I right in saying Terence is older? Okay, I'd say Chrissy. I'd say you're way younger. I'd say you're 26.
That is the best I've got.
It is.
What are you?
24.
And Terence is 32.
But
are you frig? I would not have said there was that much of a gap between you.
Most gigs we go to, everyone thinks he's older when he's wearing the suits.
Yes. God, I wouldn't have said that. Terence, you don't look 32 at all. Like, I'm 28, so I would have said you were around my age, yeah.
It must be the jiving keeps us all young looking.
I tell you, that's what it is. It's the music. It's the music and the scene that's and all the drinking and the whistle playing and.
If I look older, I'm the one singing the song.
No, dancing. Sandra knows it's the jiving.
Yeah. So we went to say goodbye a few minutes ago, and then we went off on another tangent. So we might try again and we'll see what happens. But once again, thank you so much for coming on. Of course, if people want to find you, you're on. I know, Chrissy, you're on Spotify anyway because I was listening to you in the car on the way over, and you have your Chrissy Mac Facebook, your music Facebook, and you're both on Instagram. Terence Lafferty, Chrissy Mac, Instagram, Facebook. Is there a few videos on YouTube?
Yeah, there's the brand new video down south in New Orleans was out a few weeks ago. It's on YouTube, or you can grab all the information off my website, band.co.uk.
Very good. There we go. So we have the website and you can go and check all that out. To our followers and listeners, again, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm really appreciating the support, as are all the artists and bands and singers and dancers who've been on the show so far. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Yet again, lads, thank you so much. I have had the best Friday night in a while. I feel like I'm coming in from a night out now. There'll be a bit of a come down now, I tell you. So enjoy your night in, enjoy your tin whistle playing and your Guinness drinking, and we'll keep in touch. And lads, thank you so much.
Sandra, thank you so much for having us, and it's been a pleasure. Stay safe, and we can't wait to see you at dance very, very soon.
Thank you so much, guys, and thanks a million. Stay safe, everyone. See you in the next episode.